accuse the audience to clap. Wade is his own applause sign.
We don't have applause signs. We've got me.
We have you.
You have me.
Well done. Welcome to Stupid for Movies on YouTube and
Yes.
Ustream and UstreamTube and all sorts of places. J-Mac, thanks for the enthusiasm.
No
Yes.
The only enthusiasm in the room, may I say.
Sorry, I'm busy.
Mike's busy.
Yay!
All right.
There we go.
All right.
Everyone else is tweeting.
Better
at the
never
storm.
than late, if that's what it's going to be. Okay, my name is Mark Kaiser. Your name is?
Wade Major.
Now, here's the situation. Last Saturday was the LA Film Critics Association yearly annual dinner, which we do every year annually. Right?
How many times did you say annually?
When is that?
It happens every year.
Happens every
So what happens is everybody that the LA Film Critics Association named as best, best actor, best
All the
actress,
award winners.
supporting-
See, we don't have a competition. We announce our award winners, so when people show up for the dinner, they know that they're getting an award. They don't show up in vain like at the Golden Globes. You show up, you don't get anything, you think, why did I even show? No, those who come, they know they're going to walk away with something. We're going to say a nice thing about them. They're going to get their award. Everyone's going to love them.
Now, there's an urban legend that if you sit next to Wade at the LA Film Critics
not
Association dinner, you will win an Oscar.
It's 4 years running, 6 consecutive Oscar winners. That's right. Forrest Whitaker.
Marion Cotillard?
It started with Forrest Whitaker, yes. It started with Forrest Whitaker, Marion Cotillard, the producer of Slumdog Millionaire, Christian Colson. And then last year, 3 at one table. Jeff Bridges and Ryan
Burnett.
Bingham and T-Bone Burnett.
There it
That's
is.
right. So that's
Now this
6 people
year-
in 4 years.
This year you sat at the same table as?
Jackie Weaver, who won Best Supporting Actress for Animal Kingdom. Sat at the table with Jackie Weaver and the film's producer, David Michaud, and their producer. And
By the way, that urban
awesome.
legend will die this year because she will not win an Oscar.
what if she does?
Then good for her, but I'm just saying she's not going to win an Oscar. But here's the real story, Wade.
Yes.
You know, Jackie Weaver, fine, right?
She rules.
She would give a very funny acceptance speech. But here's what happens. I go to this thing, right? I bring my mother. No Chief Floozy this year. My date was my mother.
You just called your mom a cheap floozy?
Huh?
What? I just
Oh,
called
she's not a cheap floozy.
Oh, good, good.
No. So I bring my mother, right? So we gave our Lifetime Achievement Award to Paul Mazursky, the director. And so we're all sitting down at the table, and who walks in? Mel Brooks. Mel Brooks walks in. And I'm thinking to myself, my life now has but one purpose, to get my picture taken with Mel Brooks. And it will happen.
That's right. You weren't a member the last time he showed up at the dinner,
I
were
was
you?
not.
That's right.
I was
okay.
not. So here's what happens. Everybody sits down. The dinner begins. 9 hours later, the dinner ends.
It was long.
It's a long dinner. And everybody gets up and starts making their way towards the exit. Now, I'm thinking to myself, I've got to get Mel Brooks.
So Mark treats Mel Brooks as if he's some kind of a linebacker, and Mark's, trying to get into the end zone.
Okay, there was
we
this
go.
guy. No, here's what happened. There was a guy, he was about 90 years old. I don't know who he was, who
Yeah.
he came with. I literally gave him a flat foot
Yeah.
on my way over him to get to Mel Brooks. Now, here's the thing. Because we're at the dinner, and frankly, it's a dinner for the organization that I am a member of, I have every right to walk up to anybody at that dinner and say, hello, my name is Mark Kaiser, I'm with
Yeah.
the organization, whatever it is I want to say. However, I'm not that guy.
No.
I'm a shy person.
Oh,
Totally.
yes.
I'm a shy person.
Introvert every week.
I don't know how to walk up to Mel Brooks without sounding
Like a creep.
like a creep or,
Yeah.
or a D-bag.
Don't even try.
So what I'm doing is I finally track him down. And I'm sort of hovering around him.
Oh, that's not
I want to
creepy.
see I want to try to get the entrance. I want to see what the thing is.
Nothing creepy about that.
No, it's perfect. Here's what Mel does. So Mel's talking to some guy. And all I hear at the end of Mel's joke that he says to this particular person is, the Kaiser. Because Mel's been known to make fun of the Germans.
Was it Mel Gibson?
Every once in a while. It was not. Oh. So he winds up saying, the punchline for this joke that he tells this guy is the Kaiser, the German king. So I'm like, this is it. I'm in. So I walk up to Mel Brooks and I say, Mel, I'm a member of the LA, I'm a member of the group, but also my last name is Kaiser. And he says, he's 83 years old. He says, really? I said, yes, it is. So now I'm in. So now I've got half of it done. I've got Mel on the hook. The other half is, who is going to take this picture? I look for Wade. Wade, nowhere to be found. No one knows where Wade is. Wade's eating. No one knows where Wade is. Who cares? Right? So there's only one person available to take the picture. My mother. My 68-year-old mother. Okay? Here's the thing with my 68-year-old mother. I wouldn't be surprised if she forgot to take the cap off the lens. My camera doesn't even have a cap. And I wouldn't be surprised if she forgot to take it off. So I give the camera to my mother, and I'm thinking to myself, please, effing God, don't mess this up. Because this is Mel Brooks. So I give the camera to my mother.
In front of the lens.
Huh?
She put her finger in front of the lens.
No, she didn't. I put my arm around Mel. I'm very nervous. I'm positioning my mother.
You're nervous. Mel was nervous.
I'm getting very passive aggressive because Mom's going to mess this thing up.
Yeah.
Right? And then here's what happens. Let's take a look at the picture.
Okay.
Oh, look at me. Look at Mom. Mom did a good job.
Look at Mel.
J-Mac had a joke he wanted to do. Go, you want to do the joke now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Wait, this takes a second.
All right, so Mark, now you say, then my mom took the picture and it looked like, and here's the picture.
So then my mom takes the picture, and here's the picture.
See, she left the lens cap on.
Ah!
And I shook my head, no, don't do that. And then I went, all right, now you can do it. And moving on.
Thank you for waiting until take two before the joke, which, by the way, was funny. J-Mac with the funny.
Jokes on the fly, people.
Look at that.
Boom, boom, boom.
Unbelievable. Anyway, so the
Good humor.
Oh, by the way, how funny was it when Jackie Weaver got up on stage?
Oh, and when she said, the first thing she said was, "I want to thank everyone I've ever been married to," but that would take too long. And then later, at the end of her acceptance, she said, and I just want to say I've been married 9.5 times to Mel Brooks. I've been married 9.5 times, and I'm staying at the Beverly Wilshire. Is that what it was? Yeah. Pretty great. It's pretty great.
She was awesome.
She was great. She's terrific. And she's not anything like that character. She doesn't kill people. She doesn't, nothing to do with crime.
That is true.
It's amazing.
That is true.
Really sweet lady. Good performance.
It's a great performance. Colin Firth, we gave him Best Actor. He was very kind of boring and magnanimous, and then he left.
Peter Rayner's. I don't even remember what award he presented, but Rayner was funny.
Peter Rayner is a very funny guy.
Nobody has any idea. Peter Rayner, a colleague of ours, writes for the Christian Science Monitor. He's been veteran critic forever and ever and ever. That guy is so funny. Every time I'm on the radio with him, it is just impossible to you can't stop laughing.
That is true.
So dry.
We'll cut that part out because no one knows who he is.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the Laugh Good dinner. It was very exciting. Rubber chicken dinner, whatever. But still a lot of celebrities. I got my picture taken.
It's good chicken.
Really?
Every year it's good chicken.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, so it's a moderately big week in movies, Wade. This is one of the bigger weeks of the year. You know, January, a little bit of February, it's a little fallow for movies. But we got a couple of films to talk about this weekend in movies.
There we go.
We have our own live orchestra, like a silent film.
What I like that it's hot in here, and in the East Coast it just keeps snowing and everything. But here it's kind of warm today.
It's amazingly warm today. Right? It's like a summer day.
Yeah.
I like the snow, by the way.
Yeah, I do too. But just thinking about that, it's warm in here. Go ahead, keep going.
That's true. Okay, so wait, here's the situation.
Yes.
We have a couple movies to discuss.
We sure do.
Now, it's a big year for Natalie Portman. She's got like 5 films out, either out or coming out.
Well, and some of them have been on the shelf a little while, by the way.
One is going straight to video on demand first, and then getting a theatrical.
And that's been around for 2 years. I know things about that movie. The Don Roos film, yes.
So what are we talking about this week?
We are going to start off by talking about No Strings Attached. Now, No Strings Attached stars Ashton Kutcher and Natalie Portman. It looks like one of those horrible, generic romantic comedies that you see every January that usually star either Katherine Heigl, Kristen Bell, some other generic floozy. But this one has Natalie Portman, who has been winning awards left and right, and who looks like she's probably a shoo-in at this point for an Oscar for Best Actress for Black Swan. So you're thinking, you're going to win an Oscar for Black Swan. Why are you in this Ashton Kutcher movie? That's not something that you'd want to do to enhance your credibility. The last time something like that happened was Eddie Murphy got an Oscar nomination for Dreamgirls and then showed up in Norbit in January and obviously killed his chances. So hopefully this will not adversely affect Natalie Portman's chances. The movie, basically, it's one of those very, very predictable by-the-numbers romantic comedies. This couple, they decide, well, we can just sort of enjoy sex without all of the attachments that go with it. We'll just be sex buddies and no relationship, no commitment. But of course, as the movies always teach us, you just can't have one without the other. Here's a scene.
You know, I don't want to freak you out, but I'd love to hang out with you in the daytime sometime.
It's not really possible. I have no time. I work 80 hours a week doing 36-hour shifts. What I need is someone who's going to be in my bed at 2 a.m. who I don't have to lie to or eat breakfast with.
I hate breakfast.
Do you want to do this?
Do what?
Use each other for sex at all hours of the day and night. Nothing else.
Yeah, I could do that.
Good. It's gonna be fun.
Okay, the movie was directed by Ivan Reitman, who, as everyone now knows, is the less talented father of Jason Reitman, who gets... Come on. Wow. Look, everybody. Jason Reitman has been getting Academy Award nominations for his films Up in the Air, Juno, Thank You for Smoking. Good, solid films, getting better and better and better. Ivan Reitman, his father, the director of movies that were once funny, like Meatballs and Ghostbusters and Junior and a lot of other movies that were good in the 80s and 90s, has directed 3 movies now. Twins was another Ivan Reitman success.
And my super ex-girlfriend.
Well, that's the thing. Since 2000, he's directed 3 movies. 3 movies in a decade, one of which was My Super Ex-Girlfriend 5 years ago, and the other of which was Evolution, which was a really, really weak attempt to kind of do a Ghostbustery type thing. So Ivan's really kind of lost the track, and why he would do something this simple, this generic, this feels like a Gary Marshall movie from 1989, something that he would do between other projects. It doesn't feel like a very good film, even in concept. What's interesting is that if this did have Katherine Heigl or Kristen Bell or some other generic floozy, it would be unwatchable. It really would be horrendous beyond all comprehension. But somehow, Natalie Portman finds something in the material that's not there. She brings something in the performance that really elevates it and makes the film passable. So I'm going to give this one a rent, believe it or not, just because Natalie Portman is so good in it.
We expected to hate this movie. And
oh
in
my
fact,
gosh.
in a sense, we sort of
Well, we did hate it, but we were amazed
at
what she did.
You know, somehow Natalie Portman drags this movie by the hair.
Yeah.
For 2 hours until it becomes watchable.
Yeah.
And the reason she can do that is that she takes dialogue that anybody else would have made just frivolous and rom-com simple and not funny, and she makes it real. She really does. And the thing is that the character she plays is a very typical romantic comedy female character. The workaholic with the severe hair and the ponytail who doesn't have time for a boyfriend because she's career oriented. You see that all the time in these movies nowadays.
And the movie also did it tries to sort of set you up with that When Harry Met Sally thing. You know, you start when they meet as teenagers, and then a few years, and then like 10 years later, and then 5 years after that, and all that. It's never the right time when they meet, right? And they meet, but it's fate. Fate keeps bringing them together, the Harry Met Sally thing. Which doesn't really work here in any way. But you're right, she drags it by the hair, and she just But the question is, you know, if it tells you she's a great actress, but then why not apply that talent to a decent script? Why would she choose to be involved? Why would anyone be involved in this movie? I mean, Kevin Kline is in this movie.
Well, you know,
everyone but Ashton Kutcher seems to be slumming it here. This is what I expect him to make. Really, I expect him to make these movies, but the rest of these people, what are you doing in this movie?
Well, obviously, you know, Kevin Kline starred in Dave, which was an Ivan Reitman film from like 18 years ago or something like that.
Which is terrific.
But the Kevin Kline character and some of the Ashton Kutcher stuff, I didn't like that as much because it was a bit over the top because, you know, Natalie Portman grounds everything so well that you have these scenes where Kutcher is really drunk and he's pratfalling everywhere, and then Kevin Kline plays the lascivious father who keeps going out with
the sitcom star father,
the sitcom star father who keeps dating Ashton Kutcher's ex-girlfriends. So it's almost like two movies that don't quite match, very much like The Dilemma. Two movies that don't quite match, sort of the sillier comedy stuff, and then this other movie that Natalie Portman's in, which is presumably funny, I guess, but not really. But she's making it real.
No, it's true.
You know, and I think The Dilemma, which we talked about last week, has that problem even more, where the dramatic stuff
grounds it.
Grounds it, and the dramatic stuff was very interesting. In this film here, you know, they don't even really answer the central question. You know, can sex friends stay better? It doesn't really answer that. It just goes in a rather typical romantic comedy arc until the big ending.
Should we tell the big story now? We're going to tell the story.
Oh my God, this is the best story ever. Can I say something?
There we go.
I am the king.
He is the king.
I'm the king of everything.
He's the king.
The Kaiser, you might say?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, call back.
Okay.
Wait, explain to everyone why I am the king.
Oh, God.
Here's the way it goes. I walk in. I always walk in late because I know Mark gets there early and he saves a seat, so I don't have to worry about getting a seat. So I walk in and sit down, and Mark says to me, he goes, saw Leonard Maltin when I was walking in? And I said, Leonard, I'll bet you it takes about, what do you say, it takes 35 minutes before we get the montage of them having sex in all these different places. And Leonard didn't really take the bet, did he?
No.
No, Leonard just got a smile as he always does. Leonard doesn't make bets. He's a smart guy. And he hosted our awards, by the way. He hosted the awards evening very nicely. Good job, Leonard.
Rumor is he's going to be on here at some point.
Oh, we'd love to have him.
He teaches a class on Thursdays, but he wants to come on and do the show.
He's the best.
So we're trying to figure it out.
He is the best. We love Leonard.
And you're not going to be replaced. We're not saying that.
Oh, no.
So don't
you
be on
don't have
edge.
the budget to replace him.
Don't be on edge. It's all good.
Leonard comes pricey. But no, we'd love to have him. Leonard's great.
Yeah, he's going to do a
movie
suggestion for us, but we'll.
Can we go back to why I'm the best?
So
please,
anyway,
for crying out,
so,
Jesus.
all right.
I got to retell the whole story.
Avoid it.
75 minutes later.
So Mark says to Leonard, 35 minutes. And then he says to me, 35 minutes. 35 minutes. Montage, them having sex in all these different places. Lights go down and check the clock. Look at the time. I start timing it. Time rolling along, 30 minutes. I feel it coming. 30 minutes. Oh my gosh, it's coming, the montage. We're like getting to that point of the movie. Here it comes. 32, 33. 34 minutes it starts, the montage of them having sex in different places. 1 minute off.
Wow.
Bam! And then he shows me his iPhone, and in the middle of the theater, I start doing this. Like that. Because it was the most entertaining thing in the movie, me being right. That was it. I am the king.
It was awesome.
It was pretty awesome.
It was awesome.
So there you go. So that's no strings attached.
Well,
I give that a rent.
I give it a rent.
I give it a Natalie Portman
rent. I can't believe I'm giving it a rent, but I'm giving it a rent.
There's our new thing. If you just tuned in, our new season 2, we actually give little ratings.
Yes, we do.
Rent means wait for it and rent it at home.
No reason to go watch it in the theater, but you know it's worth a rent.
I believe so. Thanks to Natalie Portman.
Absolutely.
So that's no strings attached. Now, next we want to do The Company Men. Now, The Company Men is the directing debut of John Wells. John Wells, of course, is the man who created ER. And essentially, this is the story of all the people George Clooney fired and up in the air. You know what I mean? So the movie takes place in this multi-billion-dollar shipping concern, and everybody who gets fired works at this company. You've got really 3 levels of fired employee. You've got Ben Affleck, who plays the kind of the young buck at the company. He's got a wife, he's got a kid, he's got a big home, and he gets laid off. And then you have Chris Cooper, the great Chris Cooper. He plays a guy who is about 60 years old, so he's very worried because he's so old. He may not really fit anywhere anymore. In fact, the outplacement service people, they tell him he should dye his hair, he should take his Vietnam service off of his resume because they don't want to, you don't want him to seem too old. He's unemployable if he's too old. And then you get Tommy Lee Jones, who's like the big mucky muck of the company, who survives the first round of layoffs and then gets laid off in the second round. Now let's take a look at a clip, and then we'll tell you whether we like the movie or not.
Looks like you worked at GTX for 12 years.
I did. Divisional sales leader for 3 of those years. I know times are different now, and I'd be willing to accept 110. Hope for bonuses.
Well, our base salary is $65,000 a year for regional sales directors.
I responded to an ad for the vice president of marketing.
Well, we've had a number of highly qualified applicants for that position.
I'm a highly qualified applicant for that position. I'm a highly qualified applicant for that position. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I must have just had too many cups of coffee while I was sitting in your waiting room for 2 hours. Thanks for your time, Joyce. Just between the two of us, you probably skipped the Diet Cokes. They're not helping you.
You know, it's funny, the one thing that Wells, I think, does wrong here is that he has the film take place in this multi-billion-dollar company where Ben Affleck, who plays the lowest guy on the ladder, he makes like $160,000 a year. So really, if you're trying to get a wider audience for this film, do you really want to do it, have it take place at this gigantic multi-billion-dollar, multinational shipping concern? I don't feel very sorry for these people.
So you're saying it should have been like at the docks?
If it was at the docks, it would resonate much more with the audience at its
like on the
wider audience.
Like on the waterfront, a little.
Well, okay, they've already done it on the waterfront.
Okay.
I understand. But here's the thing: is that I did like the film because I feel ultimately you did feel for these people, and you have it's the idea of men having taken away from them the only thing that really gives them power, which is their earning potential, their ability to provide for their family. It's when you get that taken away. You know, there's a lot of emotional ramifications for that, and I like the idea that Ben Affleck plays his character for the shame and the bitterness that he feels as he sinks down lower and lower. The way John Wells directs it It's not really the emotional experience it should be. It's more of an intellectual experience. It's sort of very coolly detached the way it's shot. But I think that the trajectory of each of the three characters was fairly, if not particularly surprising, at least detailed and full. So I have to give him credit for that.
I concur completely. It was interesting for a moment there last year. Everybody was thinking of The Company Men versus The Social Network, two television heavyweights. You know, the battle of the former big TV showrunners. And I don't think John Wells transitions quite as well to film as he plays in television. I think because I feel a lot of television in this movie, if you know what I mean. It does, like you said, it's detached. I think the cast is more impressive than the material. And there's always a problem with that when you see these great actors and these great names and you wait for the chemistry to kind of happen. And I don't know, it feels like about 65% of a great movie, but it doesn't feel like it goes all the way to where a movie would. It feels like it goes to where maybe a good TV movie would go, or maybe a miniseries would go. But it doesn't sort of realize that you've got a 50-foot screen, you've got big actors. You can go for the jugular, you can go for the big emotions, you can go for the big ideas. It doesn't seem to want to go there and push those buttons. But it's fine. It's perfectly fine.
No, it is perfectly fine. And I think we're sort of saying the same thing, where emotionally the movie doesn't go for the knockout punch. It's a very not schematic, it's just a very emotionally detailed movie where each of the characters have their arcs that they travel, and it's very well traveled and very well performed, but it doesn't necessarily really dig that deep. It knows what these people goes through, but I don't know that Wells particularly sympathizes with them.
Good point.
Or has anything insightful to say about it. He just sort of puts them through it.
But Office Space. Just saying, Office Space.
Can I say that when I first saw Office Space, I didn't like it.
Oh, but it's funny, isn't it?
I didn't like it. Now,
he likes it now, though.
It's grown on me over the years.
It has.
Oh, I thought you said you didn't like it now.
No, he likes it now.
Oh, when you first.
I didn't like it.
Well, that's a little weird.
Oh, that's too
all right.
funny.
I thought you meant I thought you just said.
Burn.
I thought you said I just watched Office Space and didn't like it. I was gonna go. Oh, you just ruined any credibility you're ever gonna have.
That's not true. I had no credibility to begin with.
You know, I have to say, Ben Affleck, who I used to absolutely detest on screen, unobjectionable.
I agree. And you know what? And he was okay. You know what? He was unobjectionable in The Town also.
I agree.
This has been a very unobjectionable year for Ben Affleck. And congratulations to you.
That being said, what would you give this movie?
Oh, Mike's trying to move it along. All right, I would give it a rent.
Rent.
Look at that. Rent it up.
I'm renting.
He's got to make the card. He doesn't know what you're going to say.
Oh, there it is.
There you go.
Company Men gets a rent. All right.
Yeah.
Corey made the card, right? Those are nice looking.
Corey,
like those.
Yeah. Contributing for a
changed it a little bit. Season 2, like Season 2 is like a nice and crisp, right?
That's right.
HD. We got to make it look a little classy.
That's right. And Corey's doing a great job making that happen. All right, so we have 2 rents for No Strings Attached and Company Men. Now, Wade, you saw something that I didn't see. So this is all Wade.
One more. The next film is an Indian film called Mumbai Diaries. This stars and is produced by the amazing and great Amir Khan, who is kind of like such a legend in the Indian film industry in Bollywood right now. There is no equivalent in Hollywood. It would be like if Steven Spielberg mated with Tom Hanks and produced, I don't know, Queen Latifah. There's no equivalent. I said there's no equivalent. Anyway, Amir Khan is really a legendary, amazing figure. He was the star and producer of the one Indian film that was ever nominated for an Oscar, Lagan, which is an amazing musical, period musical. But this is not. This is much more European art house, really a terrific drama. We've got a trailer. We're going to see the trailer. So the movie Mumbai Diaries, Amir Khan plays an artist, a very troubled artist who has kind of some baggage with his family, broken marriage, kid, don't really know all the answers to it. And he sort of has a one-night stand. Well, he has a one-night stand with this woman who's a photographer who thinks that it's probably going to go somewhere, but he's got too much baggage, and it doesn't. And then we sort of follow their separate trajectories as their lives sort of converge and then separate again. And there are different things going on. She's got certain challenges, he has certain challenges. But one of the things that he's doing in this apartment, he finds these videotapes. Finds videotapes left over from the previous occupants. And that's a whole separate story, and these are the diaries. And this is kind of the undercurrent to the film, is what happened to the people who lived in that apartment previously. And when all of these story threads finally come together, it's a gut-wrencher, and it's a heartbreaker, and it's an amazing film. It is a beautiful tapestry that could take place in any country, any city in the world. This just happens to be an Indian film. It almost feels like a French film set in India. It really does. It's a tremendously well-made film, beautifully shot, under 2 hours, which is unusual for Indian films, but you know, this is not meant to be a typical Indian film. So highly recommended. It opens in India and in the United States and everywhere else in the world concurrently. So this is about as early a review as you're going to see.
You know, the Indian film industry is like the biggest in the world.
Yeah.
But for stateside audiences, they tend to equate Indian films with either Slumdog Millionaire, which isn't like an Indian film.
It's a British film.
Right. Or the Bollywood musicals.
Yes.
Which are 3 hours and people break into song at any given moment. And obviously
yes.
there's hundreds and hundreds of other movies that are not Bollywood musicals.
Yes.
But they don't get released here, so it's kind of unique.
Well, some of the best Indian films are the ones that are not musicals. I mean, one of my favorite films of all time, it was my #1 film the year it was released, was Bandit Queen back in the 90s.
Oh, that's a great film.
Bandit Queen, of course, you know, it's the true story of this amazing figure in India who, you know, was this notorious female bandit and you know, known for leading massacres of people. I mean, a tremendous film.
It's a great film.
It's a great film. So, I mean, and that's not in any way a musical. So they aren't all musicals. And this one is terrific. Absolutely go see it if you have a chance.
So you give it a...
I give this one a buy.
Ooh.
Yeah, there it is.
Ooh.
Yes, indeed. Amir Khan. Go see it. You'll understand why he's just got such presence. The guy rules. He rules.
Yes, he does.
If you want to see a musical, get Lagan. Lagan, good rental. Good rental.
Rent
for Lagan.
Lagan.
Buy it if you can, but otherwise rent it for sure. Lagan,
right.
Lagaan.
So there you go. So we have 3 films this week. We have Wade has 2 rents and a buy.
Yep.
I have 2 rents and a nothing.
You have 2 rents and a Mel Brooks.
And a Mel Brooks picture.
That's it.
That's better than all the buys in the world.
Look at that. Look how nice that is.
Look at that. Fantastic.
That's top notch.
You know, speaking of top notch, Wade, look, it's about time. It's that time in the show when Philip Nelson comes on, and he tells us what you should rent if you've got kids.
We don't know that.
We don't know that. We don't have kids.
We don't even like kids.
We don't like kids, don't have kids, don't know what kids are.
No.
It's I stomp on them. I stomp on them and their memories.
This is turning dark.
All right, parental guidance, folks, here it is. I don't know where that was going.
It wasn't going anywhere.
It was going nowhere. Slow is where it was going. Philip Nelson, you there?
Yeah, I'm here, guys.
No, oh my God, Philip Nelson's here.
That was loud.
That was loud. How you doing there, Philip? So now, where are you? Are you in Texas?
Actually, I'm back in Texas. Just came back from LA and then headed to the Winter X Games in Aspen next week. So I have a few days here with the family.
Nice.
You're going to the Winter X Games?
Yeah.
Have you been there before?
Yep.
Is it
and
like
the ones in France? We help them with all their streaming. So the ones in Tignes, France, are pretty awesome. I have to admit.
La di da with the France.
He has the greatest job in the world.
He does.
Take one for the team.
Literally,
Nice.
he's traveling. He was at NAMM, which is all the rocker musician guys, and he actually invited the whole Streaming Garage crew to see Megadeth.
Sweet.
Philip Nelson has the greatest job, greatest life with new tech that I've ever witnessed.
Well, here's what Philip has.
Sometimes though he watches movies with his kids.
That's right.
There's
And what would you like to recommend this week, Philip Nelson?
Well, this movie actually, when I saw the previews for this movie, I wasn't interested. I didn't want to see it. And my kids didn't really want to see it based on the previews, but my son, Noel, he's 12, he went to see it with some friends, and he came back so excited about this movie that he started wanting all of his sisters to see it, and it's Despicable Me. So Despicable Me is our pick for this week. And I didn't go see it at the theater, but he actually asked for this DVD for Christmas. So I was like, wow, he's gone to see it at the theater a couple of times. He's told all his sisters they need to see it, and now he wants the DVD for Christmas. It must be halfway decent. So over the Christmas holidays, we sat down and watched Despicable Me, and I was actually blown away by what a great family film this is. It's not what I expected at all. The concept is there's a guy who's a wannabe supervillain, and he's got this plot to steal the moon, and he basically adopts 3 orphans just so that he can use them to steal the moon and get this shrink ray. But it really it's a great movie because there's a lot of comedy in it, and it is a very, very sweet film. And I couldn't believe how good it was. So, I highly recommend Despicable Me. If you haven't seen it, I would highly recommend you go get it tonight. So let's jump right into our ratings. As most people know, we rank the movies on different criteria because every parent has a different hot button that they might want or not want their children to see. So the first category is in the action category. And I'm going to give this one a 3 on a scale from 1 to 5. It's right there in the middle. It's got some fun little parts. There's action, but it's not over the top and stressful to kids. The next category is romance. I'm going to give this one the lowest rating we can give it, which is a 1. It was perfectly family appropriate for anyone, and there really was no romance in there. It's very, very sweet and a terrific movie. In the language category, I'm giving it a 1 as well because it really had no bad language. The worst thing they did is they used the word "but." So, yes, I even said it. I even said it on Parental Guide.
You just upset Corey. You really upset Corey just now.
My dainty ears.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm not going to let you know. So, tough crowd at the streaming garage tonight. And then in the next category is peril. And peril, the reason we break out peril and action is because, some parents really have a problem with people being like in very dangerous situations, but then a little action doesn't bother them. And I put this one as a 2 in peril because this evil villain goes and adopts 3 little girls, and it's a kind of a bizarre idea and so I couldn't give it a 1, but I am going to give it a 2, which is very low. And really, there's nothing in here that I would object to any of my children seeing. Any of my 1,000 kids can watch this movie.
Litter.
And then I'm going to give it on adult enjoyment because one of the reasons we have the category adult enjoyment is because there's 2 different kinds of movies. There's family movies and kids movies. A kids movie is one you put on and leave the kids watching because it's so horrible that you can't bear it. And then a family movie is one that's a quality movie that you actually would watch with or without the kids. So I'm going to give this one the highest rating possible, and that's 5, because I have to say this movie had some great lessons about caring for people and not being so self-centered and kindness and the little girls in the movie are just so sweet. Even though that this is a bad guy who doesn't really care about them, they actually are sweet little girls, and it's a terrific movie. And I would say go buy this one instantly.
I like this movie.
I love the Minions.
The Minions are cute.
The Minions are hysterical. The little yellow 1 and 2-eyed thingamabobs that kind of serve him at his beck and call.
There are certain companies where when they come out with an animated film, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Pixar, it's going to be good. DreamWorks.
Yeah.
Hit and miss. Universal.
Yeah. But this was actually made relatively inexpensively. I think this was like $65 million or something.
I think, wasn't this made in France?
Yes, it's a French animation company. Yeah.
So it's nice to see a couple of the movies that that I've reviewed that I love, like Astro Boy, wasn't in the traditional, production system that we see most of the animated films coming out, and then Despicable Me, and the voices were great in this. I love Steve Carell; he is always awesome, and I could not believe how much I liked Despicable Me. I really couldn't.
So that is a buy and a half.
It is.
I
Philip
agree.
Nelson. It's
Just go ahead
unbelievable.
and buy 2 copies in case one gets scratched.
Yeah, there it is. All right, Philip Nelson, thank you very
Philip.
much. Parental guidance.
Excellent.
All right, now wait, here's the thing. Everything is online nowadays.
I know.
How many DVDs do you have? Right now, how many DVDs do you have right now in your palatial Malibu mansion?
I don't know, 6,000, 5,000?
6,000.
Something like that.
That, by the way, is not a joke. All of that, it's a waste. Because everybody's streaming. You got the Roku and the Google and the Fling Fling and the Bam Bam and whatever they call it.
Flam.
Whatever it is. You got them all.
I could stream.
Yeah, and you should.
I should, shouldn't I?
You should have a very strong stream. It's very important.
I should get
especially when you get older.
Wow, this did not go at all how I planned the first segment. This is going to sell sponsors well.
Okay. All right, so here's the thing. So there's so many streaming services now that we really want to kind of let people know what's out there. Because at first, when these streaming services like Netflix and Amazon and Hulu, when they first started, they didn't have a lot of good movies.
No.
Let alone good movies. But now you're sort of a couple years into the streaming thing, and all of these services have really good movies now. They're really starting to load them up with the bona fide classics.
Yep.
So every week, we have a new segment called Instant Gratification. Cut the cord! Yeah! Whoa! Corey, everybody!
Nice.
Nice.
Corey, did you do that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Just wow, man.
Thank you, sir.
Really?
40 shows, but you got
So yeah, you're on. I mean, I realized I was on Netflix and I became a TV now. Now it's TV where I'm flicking through on, what do I watch tonight? I don't know. And then I thought this would be a good idea. We can start telling people here's something good to watch streaming each week at different locations.
So every week,
nice.
I'll give a couple. Wade will give a couple.
Sure.
And by the end, you'll have the best new movie, the best movie to rent.
Puts you in control of your entertainment.
To instantly be gratified by.
You are in control of your entertainment. You will no longer be at the mercy of whatever some.
All right, we got the idea now.
Yeah.
And
Mark, what do you got?
By the way, can I say something? I
Yes.
actually did this. No coincidence. I did this last night because
Did you?
I'm going to see the Jason Statham film, The Mechanic. On Monday, I wanted to refresh my memory on the Charles
original,
Bronson Mechanic,
yes.
which I hadn't seen for many years. So you know what? Now when I go on Netflix, I don't know if it's streamable or not. I just go on there, search, and I hope it's streamable. Mechanic, streamable.
Interesting.
Fantastic.
What do you got for us, Mark?
Fell asleep in the middle of it, by the way. Watched the rest this morning. Wow. So anyway, so on Netflix, here is what Netflix has. Netflix has streamable, one of my favorite films of all time, and one of the best Woody Allen films ever made, Crimes and Misdemeanors.
All right, we're going to take it, but hold on. Go ahead.
So Crimes and Misdemeanors is from 1989.
Oh, you got to move over. There you go.
Leaning into your show, you never do that.
This is the beta. A lot of betas going on tonight, folks. Crimes and Misdemeanors is from 1989. It is one of Woody Allen's best films. It is the perfect melding of the serious Woody that he loved, the Bergman-esque Woody, and the funny Woody that, of course, we love that he doesn't do anymore. Martin Landau stars as an ophthalmologist who is cheating on his wife, and the mistress is played by Angelica Houston. She's starting to get a little bit clingy, so he decides to have her murdered. The other story, Woody Allen plays a documentarian whose latest subject is a very self-involved TV producer played by Alan Alda. And this film is a morally. It has all these great moral quandaries. It has great performances. The Woody Allen part of it is hilarious. If it bends, it's funny.
If it breaks, not funny.
So I am in love with Crimes and Misdemeanors. And the good thing, too, is that because Woody doesn't do audio commentaries and his DVDs never have any extras, you're not losing anything by streaming this.
Good point.
It's not like if you got the DVD, you get the documentaries and the commentary. He doesn't do that stuff. So I say that on Netflix this week, Crimes and Misdemeanors, that is one of my all-time favorite movies.
Can't go wrong. I agree. That's a great movie. It's one of the best Woody Allen films of the last 20 years. It's terrific.
I mean, he really didn't do a film that good again until Match Point.
Yep.
You know, which was another great Woody Allen film.
I mean, it really is one of the best Woody Allen films of his career, and you can't go wrong.
So that's Netflix.
Yeah.
Now, on Hulu, here's what you can watch on Hulu. Also a great film that I liked a lot.
And this is the free Hulu. This is not Hulu Plus. So this is, you can just go to Hulu through your Roku or your web or whatever. So this is, we're trying to make it so you can watch them for free.
Yes.
So this is not the Hulu Plus. This is just on regular Hulu.
Because we assume you're as cheap as I am. So it's all got to be free. Is anyone as cheap as I am? Probably not, to be honest with you. So on Hulu Free, Quiz Show. Now, Quiz Show from 1994 was directed by Robert Redford. That, of course, is based on the Quiz Show scandal. And that's another film with a lot of, there's a lot of moral issues to work out. And it's funny because in the movie, it's not like the moral issues are, is the show 21, this game show that rigged the answers back in the 50s. The question is not whether the show is right or wrong. The show is obviously wrong. The question is, Charles Van Doren, played by Ray Fiennes, the guy who was really smart, but yet received the answers for free by the show every week so he can keep winning and winning and winning. He's a smart guy. The moral quandary for him is, at what point am I so upset with myself that I keep doing this, I'm just going to explode with guilt, and eventually just spill the whole thing. And that's really where a lot of the emotional resonance comes in the film. And Redford does a great job, and Ray Fiennes does a great job, and John Turturro, who plays Herb Stemple, he does a great job too. And it's just great.
And Paul Scofield, who shows up as Ray Fiennes' dad, Best Actor for A Man for All Seasons, 1966.
And he got a nomination for that. He's terrific as Ray Fiennes' father.
No, I think if you want to, I am not somebody who goes, I'm not a huge Robert Redford nut as a director. I think, he's fine as, actor, director, whatever. But I got to say, the first 10 minutes of this movie is some of the best directed film I've ever seen in my life. The first 10 minutes of Quiz Show is really just a masterpiece of editing, directing, camera work, acting, choreographing, everything. It just immerses you in that world, in that period. It's really very, very impressive.
So if you want to watch that for free on Hulu, that's the way to go.
Good film. It's a good film.
Now, those are my two. Now Wade has his two.
I do indeed. We're going to move over to Am I Framed? Am I Framed?
Hang on, I'm going to move out of the way, folks.
You're going to be good.
I'm good. Okay. We are we're gonna go and we're gonna talk about Crackle, Crackle.com, which is Sony's online site, mostly web series, original web series, but you can see Groundhog Day, and you should, because Groundhog Day is one of the funniest movies you will ever see, and also one of the most poignant comedies you will ever see. This brought Bill Murray back together with Harold Ramis, his Ghostbusters co-writer and co-star. Harold Ramis directs, Bill Murray stars, and of course it is all centered around Groundhog Day. Bill Murray works for a television station, is not happy that he's being sent to cover the ridiculous holiday of Groundhog Day and Puxatawny Phil, the stupid groundhog, and this rigmarole every year. It's the same old tired nonsense. But what happens is he wakes up the next morning and it's Groundhog Day all over again. And the next day, all over again. And it's amazing how they take this premise and the idea of a guy who is suddenly caught in a loop, who is stuck in the same day over and over and over, and how he sort of acclimates himself to it, and how he somehow makes the best of the fact that he knows exactly what's going to happen and who's going to say what. And there is, of course, a poignant conclusion to it. The film comes to a head in really a very sweet and a very touching way. And, Bill Murray gets to do all those things that we know he can do. He's funny, yet he winds up being kind of self-reflexive at the same time. And it's a little bit of the Ghostbusters Bill Murray with the Lost in Translation Bill Murray. And it really is terrific. And I just can't speak highly enough of this comedy. I think it's great.
How could you not love Groundhog Day?
It's great.
It is timeless. It is a timeless film. Andy McDowell really funny in it.
Very funny.
Very romantic.
Yeah.
And she plays, of course, the romantic interest.
Absolutely.
And it's just a terrific film. Okay, so that's Groundhog Day. What else you got?
And then we also Amazon. You can go onto Amazon and you can pay to see each individual film. You can rent films streaming off of Amazon. A huge selection and a lot of good stuff. Why not go with Winter's Bone? Winter's Bone, one of the most acclaimed films from last year, sort of the independent success of last year. This movie was made for just a few $1 million. It has grossed, I think, something like $28 million so far. In terms of negative cost to profit, this is arguably the most successful film of last year. The amazing, gritty story of a girl, I think we talked about it on the show, who in the Ozarks, her father has skipped bail, and he put the house up for bail, and she finds herself in a position of having to track down her fugitive father, or she'll lose the house. Her mom is kind of catatonic. She's got a young brother she's got to care for. So this girl immerses herself in this horrible hillbilly world of meth cookers and really, really scary creatures. And it's actually quite an extraordinary film. Just difficult to watch, but really a great movie.
Well, it's a great film because of Deborah Granick, the director. This film
Who previously did Down to the Bone.
That's right, with Vera Farmiga.
Yep.
The film Winter's Bone is so authentic looking. You literally will feel as if she went down to the Ozarks and just found these people and just found this story. You know, when you look at the story, it could have been done 100 different ways. 99 of them would just be another phony Hollywood movie. But she found the way to do it that is just completely real.
It feels, it really feels as if you have just been dropped into the world that these people inhabit. And it's a scary world because it's a world where it's economically depressed, where there's no hope, where everyone either uses meth or cooks it, and it's cold, and it's sort of the, it's that dark part of the United States that we don't really necessarily want to admit exists. But it does, and she doesn't shy away from showing you exactly all the dirty edges.
So not only is that the Amazon pick, that's also our negative cost to profit pick of the week.
Oh, yeah.
And that is, the Amazon Works is $3.99 for a 24-hour rental on Amazon, so you know.
Great.
And then, but sometimes if you follow Amazon on Twitter, I forget exactly which, I think it's Amazon Instant or something like that, they actually give you a lot of deals. There's like 99-cent deals every day with different movies that pop up. So that's another good way to watch it, and you can see it. I use it on my Roku.
Outstanding.
And they give you a lot of deals with that.
So every week we'll be giving you a couple new movies that you can be
different
watching
places
for free.
too.
Different places.
There's a lot of different places that you may not even know about. There's places that have old movies that they stream for free that are now in the public domain.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of cool stuff we're going to bring up. Those are the obvious ones that you guys might know about, the Netflix and Hulu and things like that. And we're going to each week we're going to present even more places you may not even know existed.
Yeah. So there you go. So that, ladies and gentlemen, was the very first installment of
Instant Gratification. Cutting
the Cord.
Play that crap.
That's
I'm
plenty.
just amazed. Corey, you did that with crayons, right?
Yes, sir.
That's amazing.
Digital crayons.
That's great.
So Wade, here's the thing.
Yes, sir.
It was a big week.
Yeah,
it was
moderately.
a big week for movies.
Yeah.
Big news week.
Big week with our awards show.
Well, that was the biggest.
That was the
week
biggest thing. Yeah.
Because I got free food.
And met
any
Mel
week
Brooks.
where I get free food, it's a big week.
And you met Mel Brooks.
And I met Mel Brooks. Oh, where's the picture? Oh, you don't have the picture.
Yeah.
Well, oh,
there it
yeah,
is.
look at that.
That almost beats my Dick Van Dyke meeting, set up by Philip Nelson. Introduced me to Dick Van Dyke.
Oh, Philip Nelson.
What is Mel Brooks saying in that picture?
Get me the hell out of here.
That's what he's saying.
That's what he's saying. Do you validate my parking? Do you validate my parking? That's what he's saying right there. Who are you? All right, folks. So there's me and Mel Brooks. I'm so proud of myself. Thanks, Mom.
Yeah,
Thanks for not
cool.
screwing that up.
That is amazing.
All right, it's time for news. Let's do it. News.
Nice.
Chad?
Hey guys, sorry I couldn't be here live tonight.
I guess I should
Jury
turn this on.
duty. I tried to get off by
Now,
bad
Chad
mouth
was
from the
recorded
Irish,
earlier,
but
so
it didn't
Chad's not here live. We don't
Anyway,
hold it
I've
against
got
him.
some great news stories for you.
Here's the thing. We always hear Chad speak when he pre-records it. Or he does it live.
Here's the deal. We were setting this all up for the YouTube beta thing, and then we lost a lot of our inputs, so we couldn't hear sounds, and it's not good.
And you know what? Whenever I lose input, I get very upset. So are we ready to go?
Yes, but if you'd like to hear him actually say the first news story, just
Let's do the first news story.
All right, Chad, what's the first news story?
Play the role of Catwoman in the next Batman movie, The Dark Knight Rises. Yep, old Goonie Eyes herself will be filling the role that has been previously brought to the screen by such actresses as Michelle Pfeiffer, Halle Berry, and my personal favorite, Eartha Kitt. But will Hathaway be able to bring the sexy to such a role? I don't know. I can't get past her weird, huge face. Those giant frog eyes and that big clown mouth. She's like a sexy Mr. Potato Head. Just kidding. I kid Anne Hathaway because, as last week's Golden Globes taught us, celebrities can take a joke.
By the way, before I have to say, Ricky Gervais, funniest host ever.
Oh, absolutely. Because but he won't be back.
He will not be back.
And
I
think he knew that.
That was a kamikaze run.
Yeah, it was.
No doubt about it.
No doubt.
Now,
no doubt.
Here's the thing with Anne Hathaway. I don't care what it is. I love Anne Hathaway. Now, you didn't go to the...
She'll be a terrible Oscar host. Like, that whole Oscar hosting thing is not going to work. She and James Franco are not going to...
Catwoman. She's going to wear the suit and everything. It'll be fantastic.
Catwoman, great. Oscar host, no.
Now, here's the thing. You didn't go to the Fox Searchlight Christmas party.
No.
I did. And I got to take a peek, take a gander at Anne Hathaway.
Okay.
Now, as we said before, when it comes to Mel Brooks, because I'm a member of the group and so are you, I could have walked right up to Anne Hathaway and said, "Hi, my name is Mark Eisen with the group. Good luck with the Oscars, blah, blah, blah. Let me stare at your butt," whatever. I could have said anything I wanted to say. But I'm just not that guy. So I didn't say anything to Anne Hathaway. I just stared at her from afar.
You walked up to her and you said, "Not only am I a member of the group, but my last name is Kaiser." But it didn't work, did it?
Yeah, you see, I go to all the celebrities and just keep saying that until hopefully
until
one
it
day,
works.
and it worked.
Until
Fantastic.
It works.
Anyway, do I think she'll be a good Catwoman? Sure, why not?
Sure. Not as good as Michelle Pfeiffer, though. Oh, Michelle Pfeiffer.
And you know what?
Julie
Everyone
Newmar.
says Eartha Kitt. That's lame.
No,
Eartha Kitt's
no,
lame.
no.
Lame.
Lee Merriweather, no.
No.
Wow.
Lame.
No. But
It was a different day. It was a different
Julie
time back
Newmar, Julie Newmar, and Michelle Pfeiffer.
What about Halle Berry?
Oh, Adam just said, "What about Halle Berry?"
Does that even really count?
That doesn't even really count. All right, Chad. What's the second big time news story?
Sacha Baron Cohen has signed on to star in a new film titled The Dictator, which is reportedly based on a novel written by Saddam Hussein. In the film, Baron Cohen will play a benevolent dictator who will undoubtedly fall down a lot and make Jew jokes. When reached for comment, a visibly enraged Mel Gibson expressed regret at not being considered for the role and described it as, quote, "the role I was born to play," unquote.
Let me just say, that movie, not good for the Jews.
You know what?
I'm just saying.
That is going to be. I'm so excited just by the thought of that movie. That sounds so brilliant because every comic actors, when you get to be the level of Sacha Baron Cohen, they always play it safe. Oh yeah, find me something where I get to play a silly guy who does a silly thing. Oh yeah, that'll be hilarious. No, he's going for the jugular. He wants to play the lead in a novel by Saddam Hussein. That is so raw, that is so gutsy, that is so insane, off the wall, crazy risky.
Are you being sarcastic?
No, I'm being serious.
Oh, right.
No, he's doing stuff. You know what it is? He's doing.
Hussein didn't write this as a comedy, as a satire on himself. I mean, Cohen is taking someone else's material.
Yes.
He's going to do something. I mean, it could be very insulting to a lot of people.
Didn't you think that?
Do
Did you
it.
think that Russell Brand's career would go in much more of a
No.
out there direction?
No.
He's not. He's just
No.
sort of doing mainstream comedies now. Arthur and the thing with the Greek, whatever.
Yeah.
Now you got Sacha Baron Cohen. Everything this guy does. And by the way, I thought
Cohen
that
takes risks, and I
he
totally
takes-
admit it.
Yes.
I admire the hell out of it.
Now the second the Borat. What was the second one?
Oh, Bruno, yeah.
Dud.
But Bruno has some very funny moments.
It does. Oh, it does.
That whole test audience bit is outrageously funny.
It is funny. I admit.
Bruno, come on, give it up.
It's good stuff.
Good stuff.
All right, Chad. What else you got?
George Lucas believes that the world really will end in 2012, according to actor Seth Rogen. Rogen was in a meeting with Lucas and Spielberg for some reason, and apparently Lucas went on for about 20 minutes about his end-of-the-world theories. Personally, if George Lucas says it, I believe it. The world is going to end in 2012, folks. Get ready for it. And I'm going to face the apocalypse in the only way I know how, huddled in an abandoned subway tunnel with a backpack full of Slim Jims, crying.
You know, but by the way,
That's the whole Mayan calendar thing, you know, which Roland Emmerich made fun of in the in the movie in 2012.
But, you know,
I just
Lucas's people, they've been backing off that story. They've been trying to say out of context, didn't really say that. I mean, wouldn't you try to back away from that story?
well, yeah, but how do you say it's not really what he meant?
Yes.
Seth Rogen was there at dinner with him.
Man, he was just stoned. Maybe Seth Rogen was hearing things.
Seth Rogen stoned?
Right.
You know, honestly, George.
And again, what was he doing with those guys?
I don't know. You know what? Who knows? You know what? Maybe Seth Rogen is taking over the Shia LaBeouf part in the new Indiana Jones
Can I just
film.
say I almost hired Seth Rogen to write on on Strip Poker for USA Network?
Wow. Name dropping.
I didn't. I hired Sam Levine instead.
Oh, great.
Name dropping.
Whose career did I ruin?
Well, look, whatever, as far as I'm concerned, if Lucas is talking, it means he's not making movies, which is good. Because we don't want him making movies anymore.
There's a Howard Hughes thing that happens here, and Lucas has been in it for decades now, where he's so disconnected from reality, from fans, from moviegoers, from the real world. He's so insulated by his wealth and his obsessions that I think he just kind of, at a certain point, your own fantastic sense of unreality just sort of absorbs you. And I think he lives in his own little delusions, and I wouldn't be the least bit
You
surprised.
said the best thing in an email. If he thinks the world's going to end in 2012,
Oh yeah, then why not just release the Star Wars films in their original versions? What difference is it going to make? Really, just release it. Let's see Han Solo kill Greedo in cold blood.
Get the extra money, build your spaceship to Mars, and get out of here before we all blow up.
I just want to see Han Solo shoot first before I die. That's all I want. I just want to see him shoot first again.
Such an abortion, that guy. Okay, so that's it with Chad, right? That's it with the news.
Thanks, guys. Hopefully my murder case will be over, and I'll be able to see you next week. Bye-bye.
We all hope so, too. Chad Vader with the news.
Outstanding.
Clap it up for the chat. All right, so we've look at that. Another Chad Vader bump out. Have Corey
didn't make that one, actually.
No, who made that?
Kenny Chen made that one when we first were starting this whole show. And I had the idea that it would be funny if it's a computer spinning instead of the newspaper spinning. So you get it? Because we're reading the news off the computer?
Yeah, especially if it's like an Apple IIe.
Well, anyway.
Oh, Corey just said he did it.
No, you did. What?
I didn't do the graphic.
No, Kenny did it.
I had some conceptual input.
Ah, all right. Well, there you go.
Wow, look at that. Unbelievable.
He wants to take credit for all graphics. God damn it. Give it to him.
So you don't like this one? Mike's idea.
If you did it, I like it. If you didn't do it, I hate it.
All right.
Perfect.
I said the right thing. All right, folks. What?
Let's go.
All right, we're next.
All right, we're coming in for a crash landing, folks. It's time for Buy, Rent, or Burn.
The old BRB.
Now there's we got a whole new Buy, Rent, or Burn thing going on, Wade.
Yes, we do.
Now Mike is just itching to explain it for us.
I
welcome him.
Hold on, we're going to switch. Okay, now we go to Dig now. We've got a little thing going on with Dig. Dig.com.
That's Dig with 2 G's.
DIGG.com, one of the biggest websites around, right? And they said, hey, we'd like to work with you guys. We have a great idea. So we put the Buy, Rent, or Burns now on Dig, as you can see right here. I don't know what J-Max is falling over. Something happened funny. Something's going awry. All right, you can go back to those guys. So we go to Dig. You now put your Buy, Rent, or Burns on Dig. You tell people to dig your Buy, Rent, or Burns. The top 5 each week, we will ask Mark and Wade, and will be read. And it's working real well. We got a lot of them. And the top one is 28 digs. That's way more than expected.
So now we know that it's not one person in the wilderness asking if we like some obscure movie. We know that America has spoken, Mike. And when I say America, I mean about 6 people.
No, there's a whole bunch.
What?
There's a lot. All right, let's do the first one.
Let's do it.
Furry Bender has 28 digs on this. It means he called 20 of his friends, or he kept clicking it himself. I don't know how this works. Oh, yeah, so dig.com/stupidformovies. That's how you find us. Batman Under the Red Hood was the #1 choice this week.
Hang on for a second. Of all the Batman animated, it's one of the Batman animated films.
But it's like that's so odd for the #1 dig.
It was the #1 pick.
I mean, it just came out on DVD and Blu-ray about 4 or 5 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it is good.
You know what? It gets into the... there's all this stuff about the Joker, that he was this villain called the Red Hood before he was the Joker.
Yeah, it gets into that. It's interesting backstory stuff.
And the Robin stuff.
It is one of the better Batman animated entries, which I'm usually not all that fond of, but it's dark and it's really well written. I'd say a rent.
I would, you know what? If you like it enough to ask, I would say buy it.
Oh, it's a rent and a buy.
A rent and a buy.
Look at that.
Look at that.
All right. Furry Bender has the second one, too. You know what? There should be a rule. Only one.
Yeah.
But I'm going to read this one. I didn't make that rule, but I'm going to skip you.
Modify it.
Furry Bender asks about Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, with 27 digs.
Well, there's the two, both of the Richard Linklater films. One was like in '94, the other was like in 2000-something.
Yeah, it was the sequel to it where they come together again, Julie Delpy and Ethan Hawke.
Richard Linklater is a very lazy director. I don't like a lot of the stuff that he does, but I do like these, so I will give both of them a rent.
Wow. You know, I'm struggling here because they're well made. I don't particularly care for either of them, but they're well made for their audience. I'm going to go with a rent, even though I don't personally recommend them. I think I actually like Richard Linklater when he's in much more commercial mode, when he's in doing stuff like
Bad News Bears?
School of Rock.
School of Rock. I like School of Rock.
School of Rock's a terrific film.
It's one of the only films where Jack Black didn't annoy the crap out of me.
I know. It was the role he was born to play.
All right. Moving on.
Yes.
With 25 digs, Mike Rotman's ex. Jesus. It scared me. I don't know who this is, and it scares me. Great Expectations from 1998.
Well, that's the De Niro and Gwyneth
Paltrow version.
Why would they pick that name?
It was with Anne Bancroft in the Mrs. Havisham part.
Yes, I don't like that film because it was directed by, I think, Alfonso Cuarón.
It was.
Did he direct that?
Yeah.
And so it looks great, but as a Dickens adaptation, I didn't buy it.
It modernizes the Dickens. I don't.
It MTVizes it, almost like at a Baz Luhrmann level.
I really don't care for it. I'm a purist. I think Great Expectations is an amazing novel, and if you want to see a film version, watch the original David Lean black and white, which is as perfect a film as you will ever see. And John Mills is unbelievable. Alec Guinness, a young, skinny Alec Guinness, tremendous.
You know what? I would like. I'm not quite in. I'm in that middle ground of Burn versus Rent, so I'm going to say Rent.
I'm going to say Burn.
Although it's not very good.
I'm going Burn. I'm going Burn.
Brent?
No, but Brent is
by Rent.
Is by Rent.
You're saying Rent Burn?
I'm saying Rent Burn. It's in between
Just
Rent
choose
and Burn.
one.
It's a great
Rent.
Burn. Burn here. Burn.
All right. From KMEVY asks about Contact.
Ooh.
I like Contact, except for Matthew McConaughey. I liked
honestly,
it.
I love Matthew McConaughey in it.
What?
You
love Matthew McConaughey in Contact?
I think he's
What
great.
was he doing in that movie?
He's good.
He's terrible.
He's acting.
It was a character that dropped from Mars, and he's wearing an ascot, and somebody needs to.
Matthew McConaughey is a good actor when he wants to be, and he's good in that movie. Jodie Foster's really good in that movie. You know what? Adapted from the Carl Sagan novel, it was one of the last decent films that Robert Zemeckis directed. I think it's a terrific film. It's a little bit like, it's not as heavy and weighty as it probably should be. If you've read the novel, there are some really intense edges to it. But I'm going to say bye. Contact is a hell of a good film.
Did not see that coming.
You know what? I'll say bye too. I liked it a lot. I'm just saying that Matthew McConaughey
belongs in that movie.
Does not belong in that movie.
Belongs in that movie.
You know what? Matthew McConaughey burned the rest of the movie. Bye.
All right, we have your ratings. We're going on to one that I cannot pronounce at all. Wait, I'm going to need your help with this.
Okay.
Un long dimanche de...
For shizzle.
A long Sunday.
See how
Day.
See with the thing underneath
F-I-A-N, weird C-A-I-L-L-E-S, directed by Jean-Pierre Jeunet.
Jean-Pierre Jeunet.
Jeunet.
Look, I speak Spanish. I don't speak this.
Say one thing in Spanish. You don't speak Spanish. Say
Me
one thing
gusta
in
jugar a
Spanish.
baseball.
Okay,
I like to play baseball. Sí, me gusta.
A long Sunday. Jeunet? A Jeunet film?
Yeah.
Un long dimanche de...
I mean, I'm wondering if is this the?
By the way, this was asked by Blue Skies All Around on Dig.
Oh, how Beatlesque that name.
I'm trying. Is this the
2005?
This is the World War I thing with.
A very long engagement.
Very long engagement. That's what I think. This is the original.
Could be.
They're not getting the title quite right. I think this is a very long engagement. Which is the World War I thing.
With what's her name?
With
the crazy girl that everyone loves, the Betty Boop thing with the girl with the thing.
What the?
Huh?
I don't know what I just said. It's with what is it?
Yeah, I think this is a very long engagement. I think this is a very long engagement.
It's not my favorite Jeunet. Well, it's not my favorite Jeunet film.
I'm going to say bye.
Really?
I'm going to say bye, and here's why. I wasn't that. I felt like the film was a lot more style than substance when I first saw it. But the more I think about it, it kind of grows on me a little bit. It just there's something about the way that it sort of captures the sorrow of World War I and the way that it impacts people peripherally that I think actually works rather well.
Well, visually, every Jeunet film is a buy. Just it's a function of what comes after that.
Yeah.
So given that, I'm going to have to say Rent.
Yeah. I'm going to say bye.
Right. Let's go to the chat room. Take a couple from the chat room, but mostly go to Dig. Go to our Dig, look for that, dig it. Dig the original question, too. We need you to dig the original question as well as your own. Now to the chat room, though. Live chat room every Thursday, 8 p.m. Ustream, possibly YouTube. Who knows? Lady Diode, Bad Ronald.
What?
Bad Ronald.
I had a feeling about this one.
Bad Ronald. Let me write that down. Let me make a note.
Corey shows you the movie poster. Does that help? Mark's got one. Hold to your camera, Mark. There we go. All right.
I don't know what that is.
This is a made-for-TV movie.
Oh, that doesn't count.
made-for-TV movies.
No made-for.
Fall on that.
No, we don't fall on that. No made-for-TV movies.
I've never seen Seinfeld. I don't watch
even
TV.
the Batman one at first I thought wasn't really fair because we're talking theatrical releases. Because you guys have your own podcast that you do talk about DVDs.
We do.
The Digigods.
The Digigods. So we'll hold that off. So try to just do theatrical releases.
Lady Diode, you watch us every week. You're always there with great suggestions. This time, you blew it.
I'm just curious, who's in it and who did it?
1974, directed by Buzz Kulik.
Buzz
Who
Kulik.
did tons and tons of TV
Of
stuff.
course, starring Scott Jacoby, Pippa,
Oh, it's all coming back now.
Pippa,
Wow.
and John Larch.
And Valerie Bertinelli on Lifetime.
It's available
Okay, moving on.
from the Warner Brothers Archive Collection.
Man's Gotta Eat wants to know
Interesting.
about Black.
Black what?
I don't know, it just says Black.
Indian film, I believe. Supposedly an Indian
People. People.
Is this one of those things where you? Is this
Oh,
one
God,
of
there's
those
one more
things
left.
where
I don't have it
you're
now.
just trying to stump
no,
us?
No. He was excited because you guys were talking about Indian films, and he thought for sure that you would know about this one.
You know, let's put this in perspective. The U.S. film industry produces what on average about 600 films.
600 films. Yeah.
Okay, every year in India they make over 900 films. So there are literally thousands of Indian films that I have never heard of.
899 of them have dancing.
Probably 898 of them.
And 3 hours long.
So no TV movies, no Indian movies.
Well, you know, Bollywood is a world unto itself. I mean, I know a fair number of Indian films, but I know like maybe 20.
This is why we stick to Dig and not the chat room.
Yeah.
Did Black even get a domestic theatrical
What year?
release?
What year?
What year is it?
Yeah,
Does the name Amitabh Bachchan mean anything to you?
That's the. I believe that's the number 4 special I have every time I go to eat there.
And we'll have
no.
more racist jokes for you later.
Hey.
All right, what's next? Here we go.
All right, we are. Mahi had one, and I threw the list. Mahi asked for. Go ahead, Pitt. Punch it up. After last season. Wow.
What is that?
Wow.
Knocking it out of the park.
What's the your
Season 2 not looking so good.
What's that one called?
The Room.
This is worse than that.
Okay, Corey gives it a burn. It's good enough for me.
How was it? Yeah, you know we're supposed to make a new one, right?
I was working on it.
Yeah, Corey's been very busy, but we will have a new one for next week.
Okay.
What year was that one?
It's from last year.
Is that the one with the eagle, the flying
No,
thing, or
it's like they had. I can't explain it. Watch the trailer.
Who directed it?
Doesn't matter.
but again, it's not it wasn't a theatrical release.
It's like The Room. It's a
Yeah, okay.
self-financed.
Let's try to stick
but
with
people know about it.
People?
Not people who like.
You know, look. Here's the thing. We see a lot of movies, but we've got to vote on stuff that wins awards at the end of the year. If somebody goes, "Oh my gosh, this is a really crappy, horrible film," and it's like four-walled over in Cavina, you got to go see it. We're not going to see it.
No time.
We don't have time.
All right, are there any more? We have to end on a winner.
No, that was it.
Oh, we ended on a
Wait,
loser.
somebody yell out one from the room.
Somebody say any movie. Huh?
Frozen?
You know, the Chinese film?
No.
Sure.
Oh. Honestly, the Chinese film Frozen is really good.
It
That's
is really
a buy.
good. It is
Cereal
That's a buy.
Mom?
Oh,
Buy. Oh my
Walk Behind
God.
the Rose asked about Cereal Mom.
Oh my gosh.
John Waters.
Cereal Mom is my mother-in-law. I'm not kidding. Buy.
Buy it up.
Thank you. Walks Behind
John
the Rose.
Waters,
the chat
never
room.
better.
John Waters is the best. All right, so Wade, this show is now so segmented that every
Yes.
5 minutes is another title card. We have This Weekend in Movies, we got the news, we got the cutting the cord, we got the buy, rent, or burn, we got the parental guidance. Look at all this stuff. And now it's buy, rent, or burn.
Somebody's got to sponsor one of these.
Somebody's got to
segments,
sponsor one of these freaking segments, folks. Help us out. So many choices
Look,
for your sponsorship dollars.
I'm just saying the new PBS show, whatever that thing, they don't have segments, I bet. I bet
No.
just a bunch of
No,
talking
they
heads.
don't have segments, they have money.
Yeah, it's PBS.
Mark had to eat month-old cookies today.
I ate month-old cookies,
Bunch
which
of
I don't
talking heads.
appreciate.
Nobody told you to take those cookies. He went through our kitchen and took cookies.
That's the thing. Now, next week, next Thursday, we're not doing a show because we have a show next Tuesday.
Well, I think we're going to do Tuesday night.
What?
Yeah.
Yes. Why are we doing next Tuesday night, Wade Major?
Oscars.
Oscar nominations next
Special
Tuesday.
Oscar show.
Yeah.
And it's not at 5:30 in the morning, folks.
No, we're not going to do that again. That was a mistake.
No.
Regular 8 o'clock, Tuesday
But we
night,
will.
Oscar wrap up. You're going to predict your major Oscar people?
Yes, we will.
Winners. We're going to talk to the chat room. You guys can predict your winners as well. We'll talk about that. We'll put up something on the on our board, stupidformovies.com, and we'll have some kind of contest we'll put together. For, can you beat Mark and Wade in guessing the Oscar winners?
Ooh, look at that. Wade, by the way, is always very good at that game. Wade is very good at the
and
Oscar
if Mark
pools.
loses, he has to wear the...
But I have had
outfit or
years.
whatever
I have
it was.
had inexplicable years where it's just everything's gone.
Don't. He's managing expectations. That's what
am.
they say in the corporate world. You're managing expectations. So next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, next Tuesday, be there for our Oscar nomination show. I will see you then. Yeah.